junker red ved juletid.
Ching chang ching lutilej.
Og bring ham dalet sneen hvid.
Ching chang ching lutilej.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. This is the topic of the episode show, TWIOCH as we call it. It's the weekly topic show where we give you a topic, you talk about that topic, and then we talk to you about the topic that you talk to us about.
You always make that so convoluted.
You know, that wasn't as bad as it usually is.
No, he's been way worse.
That all logically makes sense. We give you a topic, you tell us about
You already
your
said that.
stories.
So this
That's
week
good.
we're talking about scary moments or
Yes.
scary experiences in games.
Yes.
And we got some good feedback on this. Christian Michael said, I don't often get scared in video games, even by horror, but playing Metroid Prime as a kid felt like being alone on a hostile alien playground. Well,
That's basically...
I remember being frightened by some big giant ice boss, and certainly when I approached the final boss, knowing I was going to get the crap kicked out of me.
Yeah.
Metroid has always been very much about the atmosphere, and the music to the mist on the visor really got you into that space. Even though we certainly made prettier games now.
Yeah.
The way that everything, the music, the ambience, the sound effects, everything makes you feel, as he said, isolated.
Yeah.
And she is, okay, Samus is more of a vamp than either one of us will ever be.
It's true.
So to put yourself in her suit
Yeah.
is a really intimidating experience.
My I've got a lot of moments where I was scared, but the first time that I remember being scared playing a video game was playing Resident Evil 2. And I know that may be cliche, but up to that point, nothing scared me in games. I played the Friday the 13th game, and I knew who Jason was, but it didn't really scare me other than okay, so I'm going to separate this from the normal anxiety scared.
Okay.
Where it's like, I'm gonna die, because that happened a lot in the NES era.
Yeah.
Playing Silver Surfer, playing Bart versus the whatever, like you get frustrated, but so not anxiety.
You get worried about losing versus actually frightened.
Legitimately frightened. And the beginning of the game was really cool. I'd been watching Night of the Living Dead and games like that, movies like that for a while, but legitimately scared with the Lurker. The Lurker, whatever. Watching him, the camera pan up and you see him on the ceiling and then he drops down. Legitimately frightened, like, what am I going to do? Because the moment most people mention is the zombie that's eating someone and then turns around and looks at you. I'd already seen...
I was going to say the dog in the hallway.
Dog in the hallway.
Dog in the hallway is one of the genuinely, like, scariest moments in games.
Yeah, but that legitimately frightened me. I've been playing the Friday the 13th game on PlayStation, and I really like it. But playing it, I'm not as frightened. It's more of the anxiety of I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Because I know some guy in England, in this case from the last time I played, was playing Jason. I'm like, okay, I know who's playing Jason.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but I know him. He sang Lionel Richie with me. So
there you go.
So, you know, it humanizes it. So when you're playing against an NPC, and I think it's different when you're playing against the computer because you don't have that feeling of, oh, this guy's going to get me.
Well, there's
just
also
doing what I'm doing.
There's also in Friday the 13th there is you're going to succeed or you're going to die.
Yeah.
And you're going to die in one of several ways, but when you die, you can watch the scene play out or whatever. Whereas
you can watch
when
other people play too, yeah.
Right. And when it comes to Resident Evil, you have to actively move your character forward, knowing that you could be moving your character forward into something you don't expect. And it's the anticipation.
Yeah.
Yeah. from Bloodborne?
No, and Resident Evil, when you're running around and there's windows next to you, and then all of a sudden, and these hands grab you.
Yeah.
And it's freaky, and it just comes out of nowhere. It's a jump scare, but it's a legitimately frightening jump scare because you don't know when something like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't know when a body's gonna come up to life. You don't know when these things are you're going to get a jump scare. Even there are moments when there aren't going to be, but you're prepared for it to happen.
Yeah.
You're prepared to be frightened.
And I appreciate when game designers actually make allowances to make things a little bit scarier, because like the way that you move forward in any Soulsborne game is you just keep clicking the right stick to target anything in front of you. But they started this with Dark Souls 2, that if there was a body that hadn't come to life yet, that it wasn't yet an actual enemy, technically,
Yeah.
that could hurt you,
Yeah.
then you couldn't target it. So you move past it,
Yeah.
and if you move past it too quickly, then they can come up behind you. And when you think you're safe, you get this coming from behind, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Cass Bradley said, playing the Shadow Temple when I was about 10. I still don't like the music. Just talking about Ocarina of Time. It's
creepy.
Yeah, and
It's creepy.
you were talking about the hands. You've got the, and also the paralysis monsters. I forget what they're called, but like when you were put in a situation and you can't actually move. Like with video games, you can always fight back. Like you know, there's like buttons you can push or whatever, but like having a moment where something is continuing to move towards you and you can't move, that's scary. Yeah. She said that she would also play Slender 8 pages with her friends and turn off the lights and play. And that's a fun way. It's like when you can set up an environment.
Yeah.
There's one more about that. Chris White said he played the PT demo alone in the dark with a surround sound system. Like you can set these up to be really scary.
The PT demo was a great example of that. I'm happy that I got to borrow Christian's PlayStation to play that, because there's no other way to play it now, and to be able to experience that, this is a perfect example of how watching someone play it versus actually playing it is different.
I'll tell you what, I'll play it this year for the Halloween stuff.
Okay.
Still haven't played it. I've got it though.
It's not terribly long. Play through it. We'll talk about it because it's not terribly long. It's interesting in how it conveys certain things. So hopefully you haven't been spoiled too much on it.
All right, and then the last couple ones. Alan Bledsoe said he's the first time he played Portal, hadn't been told anything about the game, and he heard the first turret say "I see you," and just froze. No shots because he wasn't actually in range, nor did I look where it came from. So I continued out. It gunned me down. I'm surprised I didn't scream. For about an hour after that, I got cold sweats from the turrets' voices if I didn't see them.
I think that it helps that in those the sterile voices of these that makes it creepier.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a legit like anger behind that voice of "I see you." And that makes it worse, that you don't know what's going to happen, which is, to me, it's classic horror when you have someone cool and calm and collected when they shouldn't be is creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why Hannibal Lecter remains one of the best villains ever, because he doesn't get emotional. He doesn't fly into a fit of rage and angrily eat someone. He's like, no, I like this. Yeah. This is my preference.
That's why one of my the most iconic moments, in my opinion, when it comes to horror movies, is the dinner scene in the original Texas Chainsaw, because they are so manic, they're so happy, and hearing her scream just makes them laugh at how ridiculous they think her being scared is.
Yeah.
But
we're not eating you right now.
But we're going to. And then they try to get Grandpa involved, and it's so unsettling because it's so normal for them. And it's to them this is a party, and they think it's hilarious how scared she is. And the more scared she gets, the better it gets for them, which is creepy. Yeah. That juxtaposition is just unsettling.
And the last two on here, Alex said Silent Hill 3, and it made him sleep with the light on for a month. Yeah. Silent Hill is another one that does really well with the atmosphere.
Silent Hill 2 did that for me. It was frightening, and the atmosphere itself, it makes you, it's unearthly. It's so close to reality, but it's not. It's like an alternate dimension.
And then the last one is Christian Michael said he played Gone Home without knowing anything about it. You're just alone in a house, and the family was supposed to be home, but they're not. And that's one of those that it's kind of like the first little bit of a good horror game. The horror hasn't shown up yet. You're supposed to be filling the shoes, filling the mind of this character who is mentally not prepared for whatever it is. And so the more they can get you into that character, no Gone Home spoilers here, but like the way that this is set up is meant to make you uneasy, because you don't know what's going to get, and you don't know how long it's going to be until there's the reveal. Because once the horror is revealed, like, once you get to the part in Silent Hill 4 where you've actually been into the town and you see the villagers coming at you, you're like, okay, I need to shoot these guys or run away or whatever, and I can slip into, oh, this is video game mode. But the really good games keep you on edge and keep you from ever becoming really comfortable with this as a video game.
Yeah, I agree. So let us know in the comments what some of your favorite scary moments in video games are, and when you genuinely were scared out of your wits playing a game.
He's not even going to let me tell mine. I've been reading all these. I haven't gotten to tell mine.
Okay, tell your story.
No. No. I'm kidding. Lots of fake outs today. I'm just having fun with it. But no, I played The Last of Us primarily at night. At this point, we had really little kids, and so whenever they were awake, I needed to be awake. Whenever I needed to let Courtney rest because she was working and kids and like just managing all this stuff. And so and I've also never had a game that drove me to play it like Last of Us did. So most of my playing of The Last of Us was after hours. Nobody else is up. I could only have like one light on, and I had to play with headphones and everything. And the clickers are so scary because like there is the moment when you're like, okay, I'm screwed. But because it is so different from any other video game experience I've had, because they react to sound, not to visuals, which means that I can be sitting here staring at the clicker, and I'm like, they can't see me, but if it walks this way and stumbles on me, and so like the lack of predictability there kept me from ever getting comfortable with them.
Which is how it should be with a scary game. You shouldn't feel comfortable. I think that's what Resident Evil ruined when it came to 5 and 6. I know people liked 5 from a split screen co-op, but to me, I think it ruined it because I shouldn't feel comfortable ever. And you do that by shortening ammo. You do it by making enemies genuinely frightening because there's, like you said, you make one mistake, it's over. And that's what makes it frightening. And the new Resident Evil Biohazard 7, whatever you want to call it, I think brought it back to that because you make a mistake with the family at least, and then it's over. And I absolutely love it.
So I've decided to call it Resident Evil: Family. You said I could call it whatever I want. So those are the scary moments that we enjoyed and just had fun with. So let us know in the comments what your scary moment is, what's the most scared you've ever been playing a game, and what game you think has the best atmosphere.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.